Minneapolis, Chicago, New York City, these have all seen anywhere from a 33% spike in the murder rate.
In case you haven't kept up, Democrat cities are burning to the ground.
It's appalling, and it is Democrat governors and mayors and lawlessness that they're allowing to prevail. And it's so interesting to me to see Democrats who once disparaged, who ignored the violence, I should say, all of a sudden caring about it. But let's not forget what they said previously. Speaker Nancy Pelosi downplaying the violence rocking U.S. cities, ignorantly saying people will do what they do. Jerry Nadler, when asked about Antifa, he said that was a myth.
Antifa's a myth?
It's not a myth. In fact, an Antifa individual took the life of an innocent Trump supporter in Portland. You have Rep. Ayanna Pressley saying that she wanted unrest in the streets. Chris Cuomo saying, show me where it says protesters are supposed to be peaceful. I'll give you an idea, Chris. It's the Constitution.
Damn, she got you, Chris Cuomo.
Don Lemon saying, quote, the rioting has to stop, Chris, as you know, and I know. It's showing up in the polls. It's showing up in the focus groups.
Defund Don Lemon.
So now all of a sudden, 90 days later, I from this podium have talked about law and order. The president has talked about law and order repeatedly, but because the polling has shifted, now it's time for the Democrats to deny what they said previously and all of a sudden focus on law and order. I'll leave you with this. That's like the arsonist blaming the firefighter.
And then, and she just walked out. She snapped, and Dems are really like, you got journalists looking at each other like, fuck, she really said that. Yeah, we did that.
And if you're trying to imply there's some kind of collusion or something between Hillary Clinton and this man whose son massacred LGBT people, that is beyond offensive. So I don't know what you're implying.
May I ask you a question?
And wait a minute. No.
Unhinged much? Can you calm down?
You can't ask me a question.
Because you can't answer the question.
Oh, you can't ask me a question, honey. I can't answer, so don't even try.
What attracted the father of the Orlando terrorist to your candidate?
He's a mentally ill individual who ran for president.
I get it.
Pardon me?
What attracted him to your candidate? And your answer was he's mentally ill.
His answer stop smiling and smirking like it's a funny thing.
Yes! Oh my God, I don't know how you can watch this clip and not love her. Like, even if you're not a Trump supporter, you have to admit that was hilarious.
Dr. Fauci saying that the president's response has been impressive. He can't imagine under any circumstance that anyone could be doing anything more.
Dr. Fauci said this about Trump. I just want you guys to acknowledge this.
Of course, the infamous travel restrictions that were called xenophobic by Democrats on January 31st. Keep in mind, in late February, Pelosi was saying, come to Chinatown, it's very safe, but the president had already taken very early action.
Anyone that wants to give this argument of Trump didn't do enough, okay, if Nancy Pelosi was in charge, we'd all still be in Chinatown in July.
Pretty much the first words out of his mouth were, I want to be a president for all races and religions. Brian Lanza put out a statement last night denouncing all racism on behalf of the administration, as they've continually done. Today, he told the New York Times, I don't want any of this. Stop it. He looked in the camera in 60 Minutes and said, cut it out. He's done this 4 times. If it were up to you, Anna,
tell you what he needs to do.
Let me finish. If it were up to you, Anna, or the leftists, he would spend every day of his presidency standing on top of Trump Tower with a megaphone saying, I am not a racist, but he's not going to do that. He's done it 4 times already. He's going to work for the American people, and he's not going to be baited into these traps you are trying to lay and the left are trying to lay.
Period. I'm tired of this whole Trump is racist thing. Anytime you ask somebody how Trump is racist, they cannot provide you any statement, any factual evidence other than he said this thing about Mexicans. Okay, I'm Mexican. I'm telling you right here, he was talking about some Mexicans. Some Mexicans are MS-13 gang members, okay? Some Mexicans are terrorizing this country. Some of us are infiltrating the country with drugs, with illegal activity. It took me a while, I will admit, to acknowledge that because I was also offended and hurt by the statements. Part of the reason why I voted against Trump in 2016. But did he lie? No. Okay, I really love this one because she comes after the Chicago mayor that looks like an alien. Sorry, she really just put her in her place and I'm living for it and I love it, and let's watch this clip.
I guess the Chicago mayor hates you now. Her name's Lightfoot.
Her name is Lightfoot. There's nothing light about a woman like that. She's got a heavy attitude.
We will shut you down. We will cite you. And if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail. period.
Nothing about her says light foot. I imagine her foot is big and stinky, and there's nothing light about that foot.
And the derelict mayor of Chicago should step up and ask for federal help because she's doing a very poor job at securing her streets.
I think she tweeted, "Hey Karen, watch your mouth."
Yeah, my response is that I'm very upset about the violence in the streets of her city. You know, she's focused on words, but instead she should be focused on action because, you know, right now, this weekend, what we'll see is hopefully not, but what we've routinely seen are double-digit numbers of people dying in her city. So she needs to focus on securing her streets. I understand the truth hurts. The president's written her a letter and offered her help, and she needs to take it.
Chicago has shootings every single weekend and deaths. I would be embarrassed if I ran a city where there were shootings every single weekend. I would not waste my time being petty, writing tweets back and forth with press secretary when my city looks like shit.